10 years ago, I was homeless. I was sleeping on the floor of an airport, and I had been facing housing insecurity and food insecurity for most of my life, as a child and then as an adult. And I was 34 at this point. And I went on, and it's a very long story. In fact, I wrote 2 books about it. It's About Damn Time is one of the books, and Your First Million is another one of the books. You can pick those up anywhere. And I went on to get myself out of that situation, raise $30 million from investors, and invest in 200 companies led by women, people of color, and LGBTQ plus founders. And it was 10 years ago that I was homeless, but I had been working on that fund for like 4 years prior. So 14 or so years to today. And I worked on it relentlessly for hours and hours a day, every single day of the week, every single day of the year, for years. And I'm so grateful and glad that I did. Okay. There came a point though where I got so burnt out because I'd given so much of my time, of my energy, of my brain power, of my emotions, my soul. I'd given so much to other people that I decided, first of all, I was going to start doing some more entrepreneurial stuff. So I started a couple of companies that were kind of fun. I'm still working on those. But then I decided a couple of years ago, I'm going to leave the day-to-day of running that fund and just kind of look at it as my legacy. And I went on a search to find people to take it over. So a year ago in December, I think it was Inc. magazine did a whole story about it. You can look it up, Google Arlan Inc. magazine. Did a whole story where I said I'm leaving Backstage Capital. And for the past year, I have been transitioning over. So I still talk to the team every week. I am still the largest stakeholder in Backstage Capital. I still, counsel our founders, but I don't do the day-to-day management because it was so much work, and I don't like managing people. I think it's very important that job creation is there. I'm not saying we shouldn't hire people. I think it's really admirable. But I know my strengths and my weaknesses, and one of my weaknesses is managing people. I'm a great leader, but I don't think I'm a great manager. So I feel like at 43 when I decided this, I've kind of changed the game in venture capital for Black and brown founders, for women, for LGBTQ plus. I feel like I have earned my right to step aside and now do the things that I really enjoy, that give me energy, while championing and bringing opportunity to this new team. Well, it's someone Brittany Davis was with us for so many years, and she's still there running it, and then a new team to take it to the next level. So we're raising a $200 million fund. Just FYI, just letting you know that we're raising a $200 million fund, and it's going to be awesome. We're very excited. We're going to, 2026, we'll get right back into making more investments. It'll be awesome. But I have more fun with stuff like this, talking to you. And what I did was I took stock of what I wanted. And you have to decide for yourself where you are right now. If you are in a place where you have not made your first 5,000 or your first 10,000 online or your first 100,000 online, then you're going to do a couple of things, okay? You're going to do one-on-one calls, and you're going to do it for you services that take you a week or 2 weeks or a day to do. You're going to work with people one-on-one. You might have some people helping. You're going to do VIP days. You're going to do calls. You're going to do all these things, all the things that I teach in Your First 5K and Arlan's All Access. And you're going to do stuff like have the prompt shop in a box, which hands you over digital assets to sell. How long would it take most people to make 2,000? Like, for some people, that's what they make a month, and I made it in half a day. For some people, it's what they make a week or every 2 weeks. For me, 12 years ago, it would take me half a year to make that. I made the bulk of that from digital assets. And I don't mean crypto, and I don't mean any of that. I'm talking about prompts on my stand store, in my school. I'm talking about courses that I made one time. Sometimes I add to them to keep them current, but I made the bulk, 80% of them one time, and I sell them over and over and over and over again. And all day long, people buy it. My school memberships. It's not passive. I'm not like, oh, I put my feet up and I don't work on it. I work on it every day. But it has this leverage. Let's talk about that. School has leverage because if I have an idea, like I did last night, I had an idea because I wanted people to understand a certain model they could try to make $2,000. I recorded a video while I paused my TV. I opened up Zoom. I recorded a video that was like 10 minutes long. I gave everybody the information. I posted it and I closed my laptop. And that was seen immediately by 100 people. And over the next 7 days will be seen by hundreds of people. And over the next year will be seen by thousands of people. Because it's a leveraged asset. And that leverage, pieced with other things, makes the memberships really valuable. People get results. They invite more people in. And there's this constant, growth of the value of the asset. So school is incredibly leveraged because the more people who are in your membership, the more powerful it is and valuable it is. And the more valuable it is, the more people will tell other people about it and people will come in. Make sense? Put the word gem, G-E-M, if you hear anything that's like really helpful to you throughout this conversation. What else is leveraged? Content. And I'll put IP there too. So content is leveraged. Why is content leveraged? I'm going to show you right now. Right now, I'm recording. I'm teaching you stuff. And then I'll also make vertical videos out of different parts. So all of this is leveraged. And then I put IP as another example. It's not the only example, but as another example. Intellectual property. My thoughts, my ideas, my frameworks, my calm framework, my prompt shop in a box, everything that I've said on YouTube, all of this is my IP. It's literally an asset. It is considered legally an asset. The words that come out of my mouth and the words that come out of your mouth, as long as they're your original. So IP, one of those things is prompts, is prompts. Let's go back to what a prompt is. OpenAI, which owns ChatGPT, makes $13 billion a year now. It was just announced. And it was also announced, even more importantly, that it's projected to make $100 billion a year in 2 years, 7x plus. So if you're the guide, one way you can guide people is through prompts, the IP. And what Prompt Shop in a Box does is I resell you my IP so that you have a license to resell the IP as your own. If we understand that intellectual property is leverage and an asset, you could look at it like I could have these prompts and I could sell them in my prompt shop, which I have for 4 months. I've sold thousands of them, between $3 and $97 each. I could just continue doing that. But what I'm doing in addition to that now, as of 2 weeks ago, is I'm selling the prompts themselves, all 125 to start. I'm selling the license to resell them. So you get a license instead of like me going to, I don't know, some university or someplace and saying, hey, do you want to buy my IP from me or license it? I'm giving you the license for $99. And if you're in Prompt Shop in a Box, this is the time to type into the comments how you're liking it. Tell people how you like it. Somebody asked, what is a prompt? A prompt is simply the inputs that you put into AI. Another way of saying it is like it's the sentence, the question, the statement that you put into ChatGPT and other AI platforms. And the reason I'm selling prompts, and I've sold thousands of them in the last 4 months alone, is because the convenience of prompts is so helpful to people. I'm reaching their pain point. Pain points here, because you want to have a painkiller, not just a vitamin, when you're thinking about a great thing to sell. Sell solutions. Be a problem solver. So I solve for convenience. So things are not convenient to not know what to say to ChatGPT or the other prompt platforms, to kind of have to research and test them over and over. I've done all the testing for you, etc. I keep misspelling convenience, but so we'll see if it's spelled right this time. I solve for information. So some people don't know what they don't know. If I were to go and try to become a doctor, I wouldn't know where to start. I wouldn't know what questions to ask. I wouldn't know how to do that. I'd have to learn. It would take me years and years and years and years and years to even get close to learning what I would need to know as a doctor. But if another doctor said to me, this is what you should ask in class, this is what you should know foundationally, this is what this means, then that would shave off 2, 3, 5, 10 years of my learning curve. If we're able to give people answers now, like I'm doing that right now for you, it doesn't mean that it has to stop with me giving that to you. You then get to tell that to other people. It also solves for results. So this is like collapsing time. So if you think of that, speed and early access equals profit and success. If speed and early access creates profit and success, and we can create speed because of the convenience we give, because we just do it for them, and early access because we're giving them the information that's foundational that they wouldn't know if they didn't hear it from us, then we're helping them create profit and success, which is results. And people want profit and result and success. They want results fast. They want information. They want to know what. They want to collapse time. They want speed. They want convenience, which is another way of saying speed, but this is also tied to all of it. So the prompts is just a question. Okay, this is a question, ChatGPT, give me an answer. But the way that AI works, especially these LLMs, what a ChatGPT would be, large language model, how it works is the better the prompt, and sometimes the more detailed, meaning, the better the output. So if you have better prompts, you have better output. I recently compared it to a recipe. Think of your prompt as a recipe. So if you think about it like that, the better the ingredients, the more nuanced and detailed the ingredients of the recipe, the instruction, the better the food that comes out. So if your prompt is right now like, ChatGPT, how do I make more money in business? It's like basically you put a piece of bread on the table and you said, let's make something. But if you use one of my prompts, you have a cornucopia of a result. You have several ingredients to the prompt, to the recipe. You have seasoning. You have nuance. You have flavor. You have instruction from the best to do it, the best chef in the world when it comes to that topic. So the better your prompts are, not just mine, but the better any prompt is, the better the ingredients in the recipe, the better the food. Please tell me if this makes sense. Prompt Shop in a Box is gourmet. And sometimes you'll see my prompts and there'll be one sentence, but they'll be the right sentence. And a lot of times you'll see my prompts and they'll be pages long because I've gotten so granular. I've tested it over and over. And when I say over and over, what I mean is on Lovable, I pay $300 a month. Lovable makes websites. I pay $300 a month. They have a $20 option, but I paid $300 to get thousands of credits every month so I can just iterate and test and test. Same thing with Pixels. I pay hundreds of dollars a month on Pixels for thumbnails, and I pay $300 a month for ChatGPT so that I can have unlimited use, so I can test it so much that my prompts are better than most people's prompts. So if you're giving better recipes, you have the better recipes, you have the better prompts, then your customers will have better results. And that is why they're willing to pay $3, $5, $20 for a prompt, for a valuable prompt.